What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher 745, and with this video we're going to do something different. This is going to be my thoughts and reaction on Batman v Superman. Oh, I'm sorry, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Had to get it all in there. In the background we're going to be running footage of Marvel Avengers Alliance, and I wish there was a DC version, but there's not. So it is what it is. Now as far as this movie, let me begin by saying, I like DC. Of course I'm pro Marvel, and it's always been my favorite comic company since I was a young child. But who doesn't love Batman? And then I like Wonder Woman and even Lex Luthor as far as a villain. Superman, well, there have been times where I liked him and many times where I think he's just a ridiculous character. He's incredibly too powerful, but I did love the entire Smallville series, and I own it on DVD. So with all that being said, I had high hopes for this movie, but I was a bit worried because of all the reviews. So when I went to see it this weekend, I didn't know what to expect. Typically, I don't care what the critics say. It doesn't matter if the movie's critically acclaimed or not. I usually have my own thoughts and opinions, and can see the good in most movies. So with all that being said, this is my review and what I thought of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. And I'll try to be spoiler free. But if I am going to drop a spoiler, I'll give you warning. Now I'm just going to come out right away and give you my score, and I kind of felt guilty about this. And I thought, am I just going with the crowd? It almost made me want to give it higher scores. But honestly, my first thoughts were, this is a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6. And I definitely give it a letter grade of C. It was okay. That's what 2 out of the 3 of us said. It was just okay. And to be honest with you, it's entirely forgettable, which is one of the worst things I could say about it. By the time I hit the parking lot, I felt like I forgot a bunch of the movie. While it was going on, there were some confusing elements. I was asking myself, what's going on here? I'll give you a few examples, even though I actually forgot some of them. So yeah, that's pretty bad, because I consider myself to have a good memory. But first, spoiler. Skip ahead or turn it off or do something if you don't want to hear this. At the beginning, they're retelling Batman's origin, which I don't think we needed again, but they did, and Bruce ends up falling down a well. Then all these bats start swarming, so I kind of figured that would happen, but they started lifting him up, and I was just like, well, this has to be a dream. And he did mention for a second, that's where the dream ends. But it really wasn't that clear that it was a dream, other than him saying that. So if someone didn't hear it, they would be like, how did these bats lift them up on air power? I know, that's probably something stupid and not really anything I should harp on, but for me it just kind of started things off on a weird footing. Then another weird sequence, so spoiler once again, where Batman was in the desert, and the fighting seemed so scripted, like it was so choreographed. It was an awful fight sequence. It was almost like something a kid would direct. And so it made me think, is this another dream sequence? And it does end up being a dream within a dream, or some kind of Inception thing. But there was a portal, and someone gave him a message from the future. It was just odd. Now don't get me wrong, I kind of recognized that I thought it was the Flash, but then I wasn't so sure. And the fact that he ends up waking up again, even though he got relevant information from this dream portal sequence that seemed like reality, well, it was just confusing storytelling. And this movie did jump around. So it'd be like back and forth or why did we go here from here? Honestly, I have to blame the director. And maybe some writers. The bright sequences were both later parts that had Batman. So Batman was good. I liked Ben Affleck, he was fine. The fight with Superman himself was pretty awesome. And so was the hostage rescue later. I won't give that up. But those scenes went very well, which kind of had me baffled even more about the earlier fight, where it seemed so choreographed. But I guess since it was a dream or some sort of vision, maybe that's why? Still a weird choice though. Wonder Woman was also really amazing. I think they did her justice. I'm not so sure about Flash's casting or Aquaman's though. Superman, I think the actor's great, but I'm not a big fan of how he's been portrayed. It's just not an upbeat Superman. As many have said, he's a sullen, kind of a brooding Superman. and I just don't get it. Probably my least favorite thing about the movie, though, was how Lex Luthor, and I assume the actor's choice, was to portray him as the Joker. At some point, I honestly thought he was going to say, "Do you want to know how I got these scars? Or why so serious?" I mean, seriously, I've never seen Lex shown in that way. As an absolute odd psychopath, just really weird in every way, madman, instead of the calculating genius that ends up getting elected president. To be honest with you, my favorite Lex ever was probably Michael Rosenbaum. So that was from Smallville. And I know they're fully against getting TV actors to be the actual movie personality. I don't know why, but he's perfect. And they should reconsider that stupid policy. As for Doomsday, spoiler, I think some people thought he looked stupid, but I didn't mind him at all. They didn't do bad with him, and he evolved very fast. So he ends up getting his spikes, and he was just gigantic. So not a bad villain. It gave them a common enemy to fight, and so kind of laid the base work for the Justice League, which is what we expected. Then another big spoiler at the end, I was happy that they kept Superman dead. That was better than the rush him back right now. So I'm sure he'll make a triumphant return in the next movie. So yeah, like I said, I would give this movie probably a 5 out of 10, maybe 6 if I'm being generous, and a grade of C. Like I said, I do like DC and I wanted to like the movie. As far as the series, I happen to love them all. So right now, Flash is incredible. I watched The Arrow. I watched Supergirl. I even enjoy Gotham, which I know some people don't. And Smallville was one of my favorite series of all time. So it's not that I hate DC. It's just that the direction and some of the writing was confusing and jumped around. It just wasn't a great movie. It was okay. And that's my honest opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. That's going to be it for this one, but thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.